Saka tribal confederation, and in the lecture I'll speak about the Saka people and state, their lifestyle and culture. In the first millennium BC, the history of Central Asia was not anymore based on archaeological artifacts, but rather on written records of those peoples who developed their writing systems and gave the information on nomads of Central Asia. However, different sources give different names for those nomads. For example, Greek sources called them Scythians, in particular the history of Herodotus, while the Persian sources called them Sakas. Chinese sources called them Se, while Indian sources called them Tur. While the Greek term Scythians referred to the tribes living on the whole territory of Eurasia, the Persian term Saka referred to those in Central Asia and Kyrgyzstan. As for the translation of the Persian term Saka, many scholars agree that it means strong, powerful, and skillful. According to Persian sources, there were three main confederations of tribes: Tigrahauda, Almavarga, and Paradaraya. Tigrahauda, which literally means Sakas wearing pointed caps, used to live in north of Kyrgyzstan and Central Asia. Almavarga, which literally means Sakas favoring the holy drink Haum, used to live in the south of Kyrgyzstan or the Fergana Valley. While Paradaraya or Water Saka used to live to the north from the Sirdarya River and the Aral Sea. Sakas of Central Asia spoke Eastern Iranian languages and belonged to the Caucasoid racial group. However, some Sakas were of combined Caucasoid and Mongoloid origin. Good evidence is the images of Saka people on the walls of Persepolis, the capital of Achaemenid Empire. The Saka state was the first state on territory of Kyrgyzstan and Central Asia. However, it could not be called a true state. Like any other early states, the Saka state did not have a stable political formation. It was the confederation of tribes, where the ruling elite controlled and distributed the military and economic resources of the state. Bureaucracy was not well developed. In times of emergency, all tribes can come together, while peaceful times could result in the decentralization of the state. All tribes were quite independent in their decisions, and the central power did not interfere much in the internal affairs of Saka tribes. The Saka state was ruled by king or queen, who enjoyed a lot of power. He could probably appoint religious leader for religious rituals and military commander for military campaigns. His power was hereditary and could pass on to his younger brother and son. The second important institution in Saka state was the Council of Elders, which consisted of the chieftains of Saka tribes. Sakas were nomadic pastoralists. The climate and landscape of Kyrgyzstan did not favor a sedentary lifestyle. Large and small animals were cultivated by Saka people. However, the most valued were Saka horses. Horses were their transport, food, and their best friends in the war. The Sakas who lived in the Fergana Valley led a more sedentary lifestyle and practiced agriculture too. The archaeological excavations of Saka tombs proved the existence of social hierarchy in Saka state. Different size and especially contents suggested the existence of various social groups in Saka society. The tombs of the kings were the largest, reaching 100 meters in diameter and 15 meters in height. Those tombs were also the richest in terms of contents, including golden articles, weaponry, metal tools, animal and human bones. Nobility were buried in smaller tombs of 30-45 meters in diameter and 7 meters in height. The tombs of soldiers were much smaller in size, not to speak about the tombs of common people, which could be hardly distinguished. Nomadic Saka lived in 4-wheeled and 6-wheeled wagons, while sedentary Sakas built the houses of dugout and yurt types. The clothing of Sakas was quite different from their agricultural neighbors. They used to wear narrow trousers and long kaftans, fixed by belts. Sakas practiced shamanism and polytheism. They worshipped sun, fire, deer, and many other natural objects and gods. They didn't build any religious temples, but had sacred places which they visited during religious festivals. According to Herodotus, the most respected god was the god of war. Sakas sacrificed horses and sometimes humans for this god. The style Saka developed in art was called the animal style. Animals were the main objects of Saka art. The reason was the economic activity of Saka, such as pastoralism. They cultivated and worshipped animals. In the 6th century BC, the founder of the Great Persian Empire, Cyrus II, decided to occupy the territory of northern Kyrgyzstan. At that time, Sakas Tigrahauta were ruled by Queen Tomiris. In 530 BC, the first military campaign took place. Persians attacked Sakas at night, where all Sakas were sleeping. The attack was so sudden that Sakas could not adequately respond. However, the second battle was more successful. Cyrus was killed and his head was cut. In 519, the second military campaign took place. This time it was led by another Persian ruler, Darius I. Darius managed to defeat Sakas and forced them to pay tribute to him. This victory was mentioned in the Benson inscription located in the Zagros Mountains of present-day Iran. The inscription was also supplemented by concrete people, including Sakas.